Before doing the practicum, all tools must be sterile, including the table, cleaned and sprayed with alcohol, cleaned with a tissue. After that, spray alcohol on both hands. First step is to wash tools such as petri dishes, beakers, test tubes and so on. After washing, wipe using a tissue. Sterilize the volume of the pipette using alcohol and wrap it with newspaper. Spray petri dish with alcohol. The sterilized petri dish is then wrapped in newspaper. Spray a micropipette using alcohol, then put it in a beaker on top of a cotton swab, after it is smeared with cotton and compacted with aluminum. Pour the 9 ml measuring tube aqueous, then put it in the test tube and then close the cotton and aluminum with a PUK sound, then sterilize in an autoclave. Check the amount of water, aqua distillate, in the autoclave. Ensuring water must be at the specified limit. If the amount of water is less than the limit, add water, aqua distillata, to the limit. Enter the equipment and materials to be sterilized. Close the autoclave tightly and then tighten the safety bolts so that no steam can escape out of the lip of the autoclave. Position the power button to the on position. Wait until the water boils and the steam is forced out of the safety valve. Weigh 50 grams of meat with a digital scale. Agar powder 2 grams. 0.5 gram NaCl. Put the minced meat into a beaker filled with 200 milliliters of distilled water and heat it up. Strain the solution and take 100 milliliters and put it in a beaker. Add 2 grams of agar powder and 0.5 grams of NaCl. Heat until boiling and stir. Put into a test tube as many as 6 pieces and each the tube is filled with 6 milliliters of the meat agar solution. Test tube using a cotton swab until a PUK sound is heard. Then coat it with aluminum foil until it is evenly covered. Weigh 50 grams of carrots with a digital scale. 3.5 grams of agar and 50 grams of carrots. Put 50 grams of carrots into a beaker glass containing 200 cubic meters of distilled water. Filter the carrot solution and then put it in a beaker. Then heat it with an electric stove until it boils. Put the carrot solution into a test tube of 6 pieces. Each tube is filled with 6 milliliters. Cover the mouth of the tube with a cotton swab until a PUK sound is heard, coated with aluminum. Weighing togue as much as 7.5 grams with a digital scale. Sugar 4 grams. Powder agar 3 grams. Putting the togue into a beaker that has been filled with aqueous as much as 100 milliliters and then heat the togue solution using an electric stove until booking. Filter the solution and take 100 milliliters, then add it into a beaker. Add 4 grams of sugar and 3 grams of agar powder into the beaker, then reheat until boiling. Put into the test tube as much as 6 pieces filled with 6 milliliters. Cover the mouth of the tube with a cotton swab until you hear "puk." Weigh 50 grams of potatoes with a digital scale. Agar powder 3.5 grams. Sugar 2 grams. Put 50 grams of potatoes into a beaker containing 200 milliliters of distilled water. Heat the potato solution until it boils. Separate solid suspension and clear suspension by filtering it. Take 100 milliliters of potato solution into a beaker, add 2 grams of sugar and 3.5 grams of powder to bring to a boil and stir. Cover the mouth of the test tube with a cotton swab until you hear a "puk" sound, then coat it with aluminum foil until it is flat. Weighing Na of 2.3 grams with a digital scale. Entering 2.3 grams of Na media into a beaker containing 100 milliliters aqueous. Heating the mixture of Na and aqueous on an electric stove until dissolved and the first bubble comes out. Don't let it boil. Enter the Na solution into the test tube as much as 6 pieces and each fill as much as 6 milliliters. Cover the mouth of the test tube with a cotton swab until you hear a "puk" sound. Then coat with aluminum foil until evenly covered. Then the rest of the Na solution was put into the Erlenmeyer. The technique was to close it like in a test tube. Weigh 3.9 grams of PDA media with a digital scale. Include 3.9 grams of PDA into a Bilar glass that has been filled with 100 milliliters of distilled water. Heat the solution in a glass of AGAR on the electric stove until the ingredients are solved while stirring until boiling. Enter the PDA solution and 100 milliliters of distilled water into the test tube, 6 pieces and each filled as much as 6 milliliters. For the last technique or closing it, the way is like in Na earlier.